What's up, people of the internet? My name is Davicab, and we have a few new card reveals to go over today, so stay tuned. So before I get into the video, I want to talk a little bit about the giveaway yesterday. I just randomly did a beta key giveaway in the middle of my video with like no announcements and no like rigmarole, no hoops to jump through. I just showed it on camera, and it pissed off a couple of people actually, because I have a giveaway, like a raffle giveaway. Well, actually, the way to enter the giveaway is to subscribe and go down to the comments, and once the giveaway is over, I'm going to randomly pick a commenter from one of my videos and give them beta keys. And people were really upset because they're like, "Oh, if I've got this contest going on, then I shouldn't give away the key, during a video." But like I still got these keys. They haven't gone anywhere yet. The contest is still going on. So the key that I gave away yesterday had nothing to do with the giveaway. That was just a free extra key that I'm giving away. So I still got these keys. You can still win them. All you gotta do is go down in the comments and comment. And once the game comes out, I'll pick some winners and keys will go out, man. All right, so let's get into the card reveals. First off, we have a green spell, Rumusque Blessing. Rumusque Blessing. Who knows how to say that word, man? I got no idea. I think it's Rumusque. I don't know what that means. Rumusque Blessing. 3 mana green spell. Choose a lane, modify allies in that lane with +3 health. Now, the cool thing about this spell, of course, is that you can cast it on any other lane. So this is very, very suitable if you want to completely dominate a lane, because you can invest other lanes' mana into that main lane. So, you're in lane 1, you cast Rumusque Blessings into lane 2, and when you get to lane 2, all your units and creep are super strong, and you still have your full tower mana to cast some massive spell or massive creep that you can use to dominate the board. So I like this flexibility a lot. Just being able to move your mana around is, generally speaking, really useful, and the card itself actually not so bad. +3 health is pretty useful. It's basically a Traveler's Cloak more or less on all of your units, and Traveler's Cloak is a very useful item overall. So if you have, let's say 2 heroes in a lane and maybe 2 or 3 creep in a lane as well, you can get a ton of value out of this. So 2 heroes +3 creep, that's 15 bonus health that you're getting out of this card just for 3 mana. Really not too shabby. This is one of those cards you're going to want to hit heroes with as much as possible, because this is a modification, meaning that once they die and they come back from the fountain, they're going to have that +3 health for free. It'll also help your melee creep survive duels against enemy melee creep, which is fantastic because it means you're going to be getting that gold and the enemy is not, helping you secure that gold advantage early game as much as possible. Overall, I think this card has some decent potential, but obviously the issue with unit buffing cards is that you need that correct balance between the actual units themselves and the cards that buff the units, because if you have too many unit buffing cards and not enough actually units in the deck, then you're not going to have enough creep and heroes to actually buff up in the first place. So even though Rumusque Blessing is, has a great effect, the question is the effect worth having in your deck when you could have, let's say Mists of Avernus instead? And I think, generally speaking, Mists of Avernus is probably a better card, especially since it's a 3-drop and it keeps recurring turn after turn, and giving your heroes an attack buff instead of a heal buff is really useful in green, because green is a little bit overly stacked towards defense. So giving your Omni-Knight, giving your Enchantress, giving your Treant Protector, all heroes that are very low attack and high health, an attack bonus is much more useful than giving them a health bonus, because they already have tons of health, they have tons of armor, they have regeneration, they have heals. So Rumusque Blessing, good, but is it good enough? That's kind of the question I would have to consider. That being said, I think this card will be fantastic in draft, because anything that can help your units survive and keep punching in damage while the enemy takes those losses and gives you gold is honestly pretty fantastic. So if you aren't able to pick up a Mists of Avernus in draft, then definitely Rumusque Blessing has potential to help you win those games. Constructed, I don't know if it's going to be strong enough to make the cut, but we'll see. I think it's got a little bit of potential. I could see this card comboing really well if you have maybe a blue deck that goes really wide with things like Dimensional Portal. Also, this combos fantastically with Kana. The idea is you put Kana in a lane, you spawn a bunch of creep, then you cast Diabolic Revelation to draw a card and damage all of them. Then you play the Hounds of War card. Then you play this to give the Hounds of War health, meaning you can cast another Diabolic Revelation, allowing you to cast more Hounds of War and potentially go, you know, dozens of units wide and do insane amounts of damage. Now that combo that I described requires a bunch of mana, but if you're going blue, then you can pull it off with things like Aghanim Sanctum. So it's a kind of crazy wombo combo, but you know, this card, it's got some combo potential for sure. Next up is Restoration Effort. This is a 4-cost green spell that reads heal your tower for 8. Okay, so pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Is this card good? Probably not. Probably not that impactful. The thing about cards like this is that it doesn't really lead towards you winning the game. It instead leads towards you not losing the game now. But if you spend your mana to heal your tower, and the opponent spends their mana to play a big unit that's going to damage your tower, then they're going to get the advantage because sure, you heal now, but you know, their unit's going to be hitting your tower, hitting your creep, hitting your heroes, so they're getting more mileage out of their mana. Generally speaking, if you're getting some sort of heal effect, the best way is to pair it with some sort of body. For example, the card we saw yesterday, Rose Leaf Rejuvenator, is a much better option. I mean, sure, it heals less and it's a more expensive effect, but I mean, at least you've got damage on the board. At least you've got a body to block damage. So I don't think this card's going to see a whole lot of use. Just generally speaking, things that only heal, things that only have defensive options aren't super powerful. I could see this having much more potential if it was healing a target. I think as far as we know of, let me think for a second. I think there's no effect that allows you to heal units and a tower. So like, for example, heal a unit or a tower for 8. You know, so you could use it on a tower if you wanted to, or alternatively, if your hero is about to die, you could use it on a hero. That would be much more useful because it actually affects the board state. But as is, a card that doesn't affect the board state, I just don't think it's going to be very useful. If you really do want to stall out the game, I think you're probably better suited for things like Defensive Bloom, because at least that does muck with the board a little bit, and generally speaking, defending in the board is better than defending just by healing your tower. All right, last up is the Red Improvement. This is a 1 mana improvement, so super cheap. Burning Oil. Your tower has +2 Retaliate. Now, this is a weak effect, which is kind of what you'd expect out of a 1 mana improvement. I mean, obviously it can't be too strong. That being said, I don't think this effect is very good. Just not that strong. The nice thing about it is that it will kill melee creep in 2 turns, or rather 2 attacks. They hit once for 2 damage, they hit a second time for 4 damage, and they're down. The issue is I just don't think this card is really going to do enough against heroes, especially since the +2 Retaliate is its own instance of damage. So if a hero just has 1 block, which is not that hard to pull off at all, then this is only going to be doing 1 damage per tower hit. So if you've got, you know, most heroes have 7, 8, 10 health, you know, and throughout the course of the game, it's pretty likely that they're going to get some sort of health buffing item like Traveler's Cloak or Phase Boots. Then you're up to like 12, 13. That means that a hero could hit a tower 10 times with just 1 armor and be totally fine. I mean, even without armor, a lot of heroes with like 10 or more health could hit a tower 4 or 5 times and not die. And to be honest, a lot of games are over by then. You know what I mean? So if games are ending by 7 mana, 8 mana, 9 mana, then that means any hero that has like 10 to 14 health might actually just kill the tower before this thing kills them, meaning it doesn't really make any difference. So I don't think this card is that strong, but I will say it's very useful against decks that go very wide with very small minions. Cards like Dimensional Portal or Hounds of War. Plague Ward would also be pretty weak to this. Basically, if you're playing against any deck that likes to run a lot of creep that has 4 or less health, then this card might actually get some decent mileage, especially if you stack up multiple Burning Oils in the same lane. Obviously, 2 of these in a lane will insta-kill any melee creep that attacks a tower. Of course, the melee creep is still going to get the damage through, so it's not going to be that useful. So, you know, maybe I could see this being useful if really wide decks become super popular. This can be sort of like a counter tech towards those wide aggro decks. You know, if Cannon becomes broken, if Dimensional Portal becomes broken, Disciple of Nevermore. But outside of that, I just don't know if this has enough mileage to you know, make some sort of meaningful effect. Now, I will say that if you stack multiple in the same lane, then it does have potential to be useful just because the damage bonus should stack, meaning that, you know, 2 of these will mean +4 retaliate rather than 2 retaliate and 2 retaliate. So it'll be much more effective at overcoming enemy block. So, you know, maybe that could be useful. Of course, the most you're only going to stack in a lane is 3 of these things because you're limited to 3 in a deck. In constructed at least. In draft it's a different story. As far as we know, it's unlimited. So potentially you're looking at 6 retaliate, but I mean, do you really need 6 retaliate? You know, because 4 is the magic number, right? 4 is enough damage to kill melee creep. So, you know, why have the 3rd in your deck? I mean, I guess it'll help you draw it, but really you don't need more than 2 in a lane. So I don't know. I don't think this card is going to see a whole lot of play outside of maybe like a tech option that you can sideboard in, or maybe in draft. But, you know, who knows? Maybe it'll surprise us. I would be surprised if we were surprised. So anyways, those are all of the new cards. Elsewhere in artifact news, there is apparently a 10K artifact tournament going on this weekend. But of course, we can't watch it. So I don't even know why people are telling us about. I don't even know why people are like, hey, everyone, there's this cool party that only a handful of people are invited to. But we can't let you in or even take photos or let you know what's happening at the cool party. But we want you to know there is a cool party and you're not invited. It's like, okay, cool. I'm really glad you guys are telling me about this. This is exciting. I'm glad you guys are having fun, but I have no idea what's going on. So unfortunately, we can't watch that tournament. I feel like this would have been the perfect opportunity to lift the NDA and finally start, you know, letting people stream the game. But apparently, I guess not. Oh well. Anyways, that's all of the new artifact news for the past 24 hours. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think any of these cards have potential to be useful in constructed decks? Personally, I think no. I think these 3 cards are honestly a little bit weak. Rumusque Blessing does have potential, like I said, but in general, I think it'll just probably be outclassed by other buffing spells instead, but you know, who knows? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Dabacab out.